Guess who had the Twitch stream turned up fantastically loud? It was me, and I'm hurt. Yay.
I have to scroll really far to find out what the...
Yay! I see things.
Yay!
Yay.
Cool. All right. So now that I see things, I'm going to make the things go small so they do not take up my run space. And welcome back. We are a person or two joining us a little bit later, and we will have Dusk hanging out in reserve for emergencies, i.e. not on screen at the moment. But we've had some excitement. The Sovereign Seven have made their way through Castle Neritar and defeated the cultists found within. Capturing the castle, they then ransacked it and came up with a significant pile of treasure. They dealt with several spiders, a couple of gargoyles, a few odds and ends of the undead, and they decided to leave an Otyugh in its big garbage pile because they're just troublesome beasts if you try and separate them from their garbage. Now, with that big pile of cash, tensions have risen a little bit. And over the 8 or so hours, as well as some of the time spent during the week in the Lizard Folk camp, I'll give you a little recap of what has been happening. Valandra has brought up, she should have told them all about this earlier, but she was confused and didn't know what to think. Still doesn't. Wasn't sure how. And then on the road, in disguise, always traveling and in danger, it never seemed like the right time. But the night before they had set out from Candlekeep, Valandra tried out a new spell she'd learned, Sending. She used to talk to people who are far away, and she tried to contact her mother. The one she'd always insisted had a good reason for abandoning her in Green when she was 4, against all the evidence, till just a few years ago when it was obvious to even nobody believed her, and she just mostly stopped talking about her. Valandra then kind of stalled and looked toward Telaise. Waverly cut in a little bit, just looking a little confused. Parents, such an abstract concept. To the Mousefolk, she asked, and did you get an answer? Telaise puts an arm around Valandra's shoulder and says, take your time, it's okay. Kuhloe, kind of still scrubbing off the cultist glow on her shield. Been so caught up with this quest ever since coming to Green. Nope, can't do it. Ever since coming back. Can't do it. Tried it. Nope, not going to happen. Haven't really asked how things were going. Shouldn't have been holding on to it for this long. Sorry. Valandra says it's okay. She had the children, she had her prayers, but it was lonely without everyone. Giving a little smile. I missed my mom, and she said I'd find. And that was why she left, but she said, no, that wasn't it. It's that I wasn't her daughter anymore. Valandra kind of chokes up on that one and wavers a bit. Kuhloe's fist tightens up, but for responding, she says, that's her loss. Look how you've come without this influence. Look how strong you are. What a kind heart you have. She didn't teach you any of that. She might have given birth to you, but she was no mother. Telaise reaches out a little bit towards Valandra, but doesn't really pull her into the hug. It's hard to maintain. Then she says there's more. She doesn't offer her opinion on the subject, but she prompts for Valandra to continue, and Valandra biting her lip, shaking her head, looking a little upset. She had been her mother for the first couple of years, traveling around, having adventures, always together. She remembers that, but Valandra says, no, it's not like that. She said that and she trails off, asking to Telaise, can you say it? Telaise nods and looks to the group. Eyes are hard and her mouth tight. Angry. There's someone who might be after Valandra. The phrasing her mother used suggests someone is hunting her. That's why she was left at the Warren. Kuhloe, immediately on the aggressive, who? Gets up, grabs her warhammer, looks around. Maybe there's someone in the shadows. And why? If your child's being hunted, Why would you leave him unprotected at the Warren like that? I just don't understand. Dawn, it's only really paying the vaguest bit of attention. No illusion that lineage would have anything worthwhile, let alone good. Valandra might be hurt, but she's taking a goddess. She's moving on. She might have learned a little bit from Loss about Glumfellow. But once that mention of a supposed hunter, his ears twitch a little, and that is a spot of bother. Besides, Kuhloe actually had a point for once, and that's shocking to him. She's right. You aren't exactly inconspicuous, even as a child. Valandra shrinks in on herself, looking small, a little defeated. Not like the proud warrior she showed herself to be when bludgeoning people to death. I don't know, she said. I couldn't contact her or he'd find me. And I would have tried again, but I couldn't cast it again. And then the next day we were in disguise and on the road. And she's right, contacting her might let him find me. And I didn't want to put everyone in danger, not for my sake. She hesitated a bit. Maybe he had a way of finding her, and that's why she had to leave me. Maybe she's in trouble now, captured by that man, whoever it was. Telaise says, I don't know. Leaving your child with a bunch of Shard workers is a smart move if you're trying to throw a hunter off the trail and lead them away. Telaise gives Valandra a big old hug, because she's starting to talk herself into a panic. We don't know the details, so we shouldn't jump to conclusions, but we wanted to tell you all. I wanted to let you all know, just in case someone came sniffing around after Valandra. Shouldn't jump to conclusion. Chloe's basically exploding at this point. Conclusions are all we have to go on, the way I've seen it. The more we know or learn through guessing, the safer we can keep her. You two have been keeping this secret to yourselves, so we've had more time to process this. Now, we know for sure ain't none of this easy to take, and I know everyone's got their own secrets and a right to them. But this is a mighty big one to keep for yourselves for so long, especially if it puts us in more danger. Kuhloe leans back against the wall, fiddling with some baubles tied up in her dreads, staring off in the distance. I thought we was all closer than that. Telaise echoes in, completely unfair, Kuhloe. Arms tight around Valandra's shoulder. She's only 14, and this wasn't easy for her. I'm sorry your feelings are hurt, but I don't want to point guilt fingers. Don't aim them at her. Told her to take her time. Told her we'd all tell you when she was ready, and that you'd all be there to support her and be understanding. If you want to get mad at me. Valandra's in it. I'm sorry. I wanted to tell you, but I didn't know how, and I could never find the chance ever since we've been undercover or in danger. She's kind of fallen back through that cycle. Don't fight, please. Kuhloe echoes in. Hey, now, back off, Telaise. I've cared for Valandra, same as all of you, like you were my sisters. I'm just concerned for the safety of all of us, which doesn't seem to concern or worry you. Specifically said that it couldn't have been easy carrying that around, and I'm sorry she felt she had to. She had a hard time, but we all have. But you two keeping this danger from the rest of us, when we're supposed to be family, supposed to be the closest to family we got, that ain't right. You know it. And as that continues on, gets in a little bit deeper, I'm going to pass it back over to the characters to finish it up and then carry us in. Valandra drawing on herself, Kuhloe and Telaise, both very protective of each other, but tempers flaring. You guys have found a pile of gold, gems, jewels, jewelry. Considerable amount of it. It's been divvied out and passed around. And now, after you've rested, this conversation still going on. You've got some decisions to make. A circle that can teleport you somewhere. And during the time spent, you also found out, using some interrogative techniques on the dead, that the circle will lead you to a place high in the mountains and far to the north where the treasure is carried, collected, and then transported once again, so it is not the final destination. The leader of that area, Tanis, one of the cultists who wishes to be a wearer of purple, but has not yet earned the right to wear a dragon mask that Resmir has. Some bad blood between them, but they are working together. The location will be near the town of Parnest. And unfortunately, Dralmir Borngrey had no more information than that. The Red Wizard of Thay was able to supply a little bit more detail, saying that the treasure would be used to placate Tiamat once summoned, the Dragon Queen, to look in favor upon her horde. The Red Wizards of Thay are not worshippers of the cult of the dragon, but they understand that the power the goddess will bring when she arrives. They look to be allies. At a distance, but allies nonetheless. So, as I turn it back over to everybody, if you guys would like to carry on for that last bit of conversation, or if you'd like to change topics, please feel free.
So Joey's just been staring into the locket that we got from Mr. Turtle.
Glumfellow, yeah.
Yeah, from Glumfellow. As like everybody's been flipping through stuff, and there's been yelling going all over the place, and people are like, "But there's dragons coming!" Just kind of trying to suss out why this exists, because I remember it was incredibly detailed, right?
It is. Each of the lockets you received are quite detailed, and you found that by opening the lockets and pressing them backwards, a small blade would appear, making them into an effective dagger or knife. But carved on the inside, many intricate details. You can pick out several of them, but the meaning behind them is a bit lost. Glumfellow features in almost every one of your lockets at some point in the small carvings on there. But Joey's and Chloe's, while they have a very similar front, as they move along, they grow more disparate, more different. You can make out, okay, well, that's probably an orc and that's probably a human, and there's probably some sort of relationship going on there, and there's some setting, but it's very difficult to puzzle out without any more reference than that, knowing that those are probably references to Joey and Chloe's parents.
I mean, kind of along that line, and also considering the argument going on, I think Joey would just say, listen, I know that there's a lot of tension here, and I know that I don't do a lot of the heavy thinking of the group, but really none of us do, but I think there's some wisdom here when two people like Dawn and Chloe agree on a concept, it's going dangerously close into somebody really needs to pay attention to that territory. But also, there's a lot of loot here, and also there's dragons coming, and also there's a teleporter.
There are all of those things.
Given our position right now, where we are on a mission. We should focus on that first. Get as far as we can, gathering what information we can. We know that the next location is not the end. We were sent to find the end. We should go through the portal, because that will take us very far away from here and anyone that's currently hunting us. Or Valandra. If that person does exist, if that is actually happening, that is something we don't know. We can't worry about something we don't know or something we can't can't begin to know. We need to move forward. And if something happens, we deal with it. That's how we've been doing things since we were children.
And at the moment, that path forward does appear to be that teleportation circle. Now, you did learn the password required to open it. And you have seen it opened as you were being carried towards it with your chest, but it closed before the chest reached it.
Did we learn if that password works back through the other way?
You have not learned that detail, but you suspect it would not.
So does anyone else have anything they want to do before we go through?
Hell, I'll be first go through the portal. Come on, let me go.
I think it's best if we sandwich the mouse so she doesn't get away again. Hold hands.
I put Spirit Guardians up again. Go for it now.
Other than grabbing Elmer and,
Okay.
avoiding things.
Yep, Elmer and Harry have been retrieved. So the whole crew is back together as you look towards the teleportation circle. Say the password, and boom, it opens. Last chance to yell out something you want to do beforehand. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bing! The teleportation circle opens, and you begin stepping through. And it should go very dark, and then it should go a little white. And then hopefully you can see.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
You said there was 24 hours long rest?
24 hours long rest, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep, 24 hours long rest. Oh, and by the way, congratulations to anyone who benefited from that 24 hours rest with a level, because experience was doled out.
I
So do make
believe
sure.
that's only Telaise.
Ooh.
Ding.
Correct, only combat experience, correct?
No, combat experience and the bonuses, you guys mentioned them. They all look good. Telaise got And You're Gonna Die. Waverly was dancing around the Spirit Guardians. Joey for dancing around Telaise. Valandra for being a bug zapper. Kuhloe for slapping Lay on the hands. And Dawn for flying frog monster acid trip at Valandra. So there we go. So everybody did rack up their extra little bit there. So if that helps, do please take it. And
I'll
then
post the totals I had in the chat there for what everyone should be at right now.
Yes, please. And what you guys do see is a thing, and you think with all this time I would be prepared, but I wasn't. I wasn't. But I'll catch up. So you should now see a little thing popping up. The ground is covered in snow. Not super deep, but there's probably a foot everywhere and 2 to 3 feet in the drifts. You're quite high up in the mountains. You can smell a lot of pine in the air. Now, off in the distance, you do not see a large white dragon, which is good news. You see a large white dragon and a large black dragon.
Oh my god. That's a terrible idea. Oh my god.
But much further in the distance than shown in the picture. The only reason you pick them out is because you're just a little bit on edge about checking the skies. But before you, only a bow shot or so away, is a fairly large lodge house. It's comfortable, a little rustic looking. First floor seems to be made of stone. The second and third floor seem to be of nice wood, big bright shutters. Something that a nobleman might have up in the mountains. Now, a few seconds after you arrive, and you can see this lodge here, what are you guys doing immediately? Is there any actions you're taking just bang right off the bat?
Probably hide. For a minute.
Sure.
Gather, because I mean, we just moved from like across the continent as far as they're aware.
You did jump a significant distance. And right around you, you've got dark pine woods all around the slopes of a mountain valley. The air is cold and fresh. Two ancient stones stand to either side of you, and no more than a bow shot ahead along a path is a large house, stone ground floor, timbers above. Within sight are more of those standing stones. Pine branches shift and sway in a gusting, fitful wind, and a squirrel chitters and then falls silent. Squirrel. The ancient building ahead has a wood and plaster upper floor over a fieldstone lower floor. Shuttered windows are all closed. The roof is completely overgrown with moss, and the single door that you can see stands slightly open. Smoke is pouring from one of the three large chimneys. As you go to ground and start hiding, I will ask everyone to make me a stealth check.
Yeah, no.
Ooh, ooh, yee.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I'm gonna luck that. I'm lucking that. I'm re-rolling that.
Wow.
Are you sure it matters at this point, Ash?
Oh, you're right. We're all screwed.
Everyone else failed.
We may as well all be screwed.
I
Somehow
feel like
I failed.
I feel like that's a roar. You all jump through and just like roar. But your confused sounding roar is met by an odd sort of bamf noise, and then the sound of hooves as a sleigh appears pretty close to out of nowhere.
Santa?
Well, a little more like the White Witch, actually. The woman in the sleigh is wearing scale armor. Over it, a robe of white. The driver is a almost pure white kobold. Well, actually, it's two pure white kobolds. They're each holding onto one half of the reins. They pull the mounts to a stop, and she looks over toward you. You do not look like followers of Tiamat. However,
Of course we do.
I can see the stink radiating off you. And as you look at each other, you realize you've all just come from a very hot and humid place into a snowfield, and there is just waves of steam coming off you. I think baths, and then we should talk. And she turns and marches her sleigh back up to the lodge house, steps out, and walks inside, leaving the kobolds to take care of the stag that is drawing the sleigh and the sleigh itself. What are you guys doing?
A lot of side-eyeing.
I mean,
Yeah.
that sounds
I'm pretty sure there's a lot of
good.
traded looks happening. Like,
Can we still have the bath, even if we don't trust her?
I'm gonna roll an insight. It's not his greatest thing.
Sure. What are you trying to suss out, though?
Wicked intent.
Not, yeah, like, is she going to murder us? Like, is this bath like an acid bath? Like, you know, like,
She's
I
she-
would also
we're gonna
like
give you a bath and a good meal. You know, that whole situation.
she's a hard one to read, but you feel that the conversation will happen. She did not immediately attack. She did not try and take advantage of you at surprise, but there's likely a fair bit of wicked intent behind her. You know, she is working with bright white kobolds, and kobolds are not generally the most trustworthy of people. On the upside, after a few seconds, 2 humans do emerge from the hunting lodge, and they seem to be of the butlery persuasion, ready to take your coats and hats, though you've stayed so far about 30 or so yards away.
Well, she can't have my weapons.
We see anyone else in or around the hunting lodge?
Anybody who's approaching, please go ahead and approach. Anybody who's hanging back, please go ahead and hang back.
Casey, can we see anyone else in or around the hunting lodge?
You don't see anyone else in or around the hunting lodge other than the kobolds out front right now and the 2 servants who have just walked out the door. You know, she just walked in the door, and you do know there's a fair amount of smoke coming out. But all the shutters are closed, so it's hard to tell who or how much might be inside.
Hmm.
Oh my god, guys, stop talking so much. Every time. It should be quiet now. Sorry.
Can I have the Elmar?
Oh, the Elmar. Where'd the Elmar go? I forgot to drag him over. Elmar. Whoop, connection. Come on. Connection.
I got that too.
Roll 20. Not roll 20, no!
Whoa.
Everything just occurred.
Okay.
Flutter, you are right on top of me.
Technical difficulty evening. Apparently the idea of bath was popular as everyone rushes forward immediately. So, aside from heading forward and now having the Elmar available to you, you do see there are...
We're trying to get off the pile up and it's just not working.
It's been a long time since you guys have walked in snow. It's just like...
It's excuse me. I'll go. No, you.
Do you need assistance? Don't have your snow legs yet. And the servants are kind of like, do you need us to come out and help you? Should we get a cane? There's a divan in the back if that's necessary. No? Okay. Well, welcome to the lodge. Be happy to make you comfortable. The mistress has said you are to have baths. We only have the 1 tub, so can we bring you anything to make you comfortable while you wait on one another? Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Do you speak common? Common.
Yes! Yes, we do!
Good. Can I get you, any gestures, anything to eat? He makes the big meal.
I kind of want to mess with him.
I just want to see where this goes now.
Would you like a drink? Gurgle, gurgle, gurgle.
Does he
Yeah,
speak whale.
he's pantomiming.
Hey, man, listen, you're gonna have to slow down a little bit more.
You're talking way too fast.
You don't know, but we actually all were raised by the same person, and he talked like molasses. So that's why most of us aren't responding.
Oh,
Don't worry, I speak turtle.
perfect. Just like that at all times.
What? So the two servants do offer you food and drink and to escort you inside. The doorway is opened, and inside you can see through the doorway a central hallway with stairs, large wooden doors, and excuse me. Try that again. Just inside the front door is a chamber with pegs and benches for cloaks and boots. A set of rusty spears rests in one corner, held in the claw of a small drake statue. Can I take your coats, hats?
No. No, I think I'll keep them. I'll keep
Alright.
everything.
Well, do your best to sort of keep the goo to yourself as we pass through. The floors have had it a bit rough recently, but the rugs are still good, and he sort of gets ahead of you.
I know, Dawn just kind of like looks down at his paws and wiggles his toes. Can't really take those off. Raises a brow.
And as he steps forward, there's a small hall. Central hallway has stairs, large wooden doors, and a set of fine plate armor. Flanking the main entrance are two freestanding suits of elven plate armor, both coated in chipped green paint. Man-sized, demonic-looking statues stand near the base of the stairs. The servant bangs a hard right and shoos a kobold out of the way. Nope. Just try and clean up the mud after they pass. And opens a small door, turning a corner. Is anyone following? The other servant is holding back, waiting to follow behind you all.
Did I see where they stabled the sled?
The sled is currently right out front. And the servant looks to you. Oh, you have a horse. That's novel. Would you like me to have that stabled for you?
It's Elma, actually. Sure. Where will that be?
Oh, right around the side of the lodge, we have a small stables and kennel. He will want to stay clear of the kennel.
Why?
Well, horses, dogs.
Your dogs eat horses?
Well, they're not dogs anymore, but yes, they eat horses.
Anymore.
No, we once had dogs with the last lord, but ever since our new mistress arrived, they're more like small dragons.
Those things.
All right.
And they're housed next to the horses.
Next to where the horses used to be, yes.
Yeah, no. Where the horses used to be.
Yes, we don't have horses anymore.
Yeah, no, thank you. No, I'm good. Look, there's snow here, fresh bath, and she scoops up some of it. Look, it's, throws it under her pits and stuff. I'm all clean. I'm not putting my horse by you once dogs, now dragons that ate the other horses thing. That doesn't sound very safe to me.
I can see where that would be a concern to you. Do you think he would be behaved if we let him into the mudroom?
I think
Yes,
think so.
yes.
Yes, he actually has expert stair climbing abilities.
Does he? Well, that's, again, novel, but all right. Well, you are guests, and I suppose we must make accommodations as we can. And he allows you to... something happens. And he allows you to come into the mudroom with Elmer. And I suppose we could bring some hay or things in. We haven't had horses in a while. I wonder if we still have any left. But...
You gotta stop saying that. That doesn't make your guests feel very good. Especially when they have horses. It's saying the whole, dragons that insinuated that they ate the horses, and it's just very disconcerting. But,
if you'd only sent word ahead, we could have prepared for you, but...
well, I tried shouting through the portal, but no one responded, so maybe you guys, had the phone off the hook or something.
I actually don't know how that works at all, but I suppose. The other servant, meantime, has moved ahead, and there is a small parlor. Stout beams overhead are stained black with smoke, a comfortable table and chairs, a small wardrobe, and a suit of dull black armor stand in the room. A large tapestry shows 3 hounds dragging down a white boar, and it shimmers with a strange light. To the north, the guard indicates a door. Through here is the baths, as many as you like. The water will be warmed in just a moment. And he chases a kobold out of there.
Got a bit of an infestation.
I thought they were done cleaning. They're just everywhere. And there you are. And if you would like to make yourselves comfortable here as best you can, and the moment Waverly starts moving around, you see him just sort of slide one foot under the rug and just kick it up so that it's not where Waverly starts to walk. And you can see him sort of doing a little shuffle dance as he kind of rolls the rug up out of your way. Your feet are a little
What?
Telaise is gonna go over to like a spot that maybe had a mouse track on it and just press digitation and like, we'll take care of it.
Oh, well, in that case, the rug goes out. Thank you. The kobolds are just terrible about cleaning rugs. But if there's anything else I can fetch for you, do let me know. The larder is well stocked with game. The wine cellar has suffered recently, but I do believe we have some beer left. And if anything else, do let me know. Make yourselves comfortable, and the lady will see you as soon as you are as scrubbed as you wish to be.
I would like a beer.
Oh, excellent. And anyone else?
How about some drinking water? That would be fine.
Discord. Oh.
Hello?
Hello?
No.
All right, I just started hearing people again.
Telaise asked for drinking water.
Oh, drinking water. Yes, I suppose almost all water could be drunk, but we'll have some especially made for you.
Go at the look that she's giving this servant. Like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
So, yes, boiled water and hot water are provided for the bath and for the drinking, and the beer is brought as well. Anything else I can do for you all?
Did the mistress say when she's going to be coming down? Is it just immediately after our, baths?
Oh, I was going to bring you up to see her once you had prepared yourselves.
Excellent.
Okay, well, who wants to have their bath first? If no one else volunteers, I'll go.
It's just
Telaise
going
is
to
like,
meticulously prestidigitate himself clean and make sure that his fur is all dark again, and just
Does it happen to look like licking your fur? Because that'd be great.
I had the same thought.
No.
See,
Absolutely not.
I could prestidigitate myself clean, but I would rather have a bath.
Well,
Fur.
Waverly, go ahead first since you have all that fur.
All right.
Before anyone eats or drinks anything they give us here, Valandra is going to ritual cast detect poison
Thank
on
you.
it.
I was gonna ask if anyone could do something like detect poison.
10 minutes later, you discover that there is no poison in whatever area that happens to cover.
Detect poison and disease, technically. So no diseases either.
One of you is hiding a secret.
Hey, I can feel the accusation. I can feel it.
I don't know. If you do, feel free to share or not. I mean,
Wow,
there we go.
Casey.
It wasn't. I didn't.
Wow.
Wasn't. I said what? Nothing. Anyway.
Make
so
me feel like we should roll a percentage dice for random
No.
disease.
totally fine. Nah. Only the finest. So let's see here. So the bath is quite nice, actually. It's probably big enough for 2 people or a family. There is a door to the north, and from behind it, you can hear some snoring. But the door is barred on this side, so it would not be easy to open. There's a small table and accoutrements if needed.
What sort of accoutrements?
Brushes and other such things as would be needed in a bath. Razor.
I'm gonna be the
Shades
fanciest
mouse.
No.
There's there's also like oils and hair stuff and that sort of thing. So if you did want to do something, you could.
Kind of style the fur on top of my head a little bit.
You suspect that at least one of the people who once kept residence in this house was an elderly person, because there's a little bit of that blackish kind of sooty stuff that's used to hide the grays.
Ah.
Oh, hang on. Speaking of hiding the grays, what color are our cats currently? I do remember.
Oh my gosh.
I was just saying that Don was fixing up his he was darkening himself, just making
Okay.
sure if there were patches like in the process of all his prestidigitating, he'll represtidigitate his fur to be dark again.
Okay.
'Cause-
So still inky black.
Yeah, well,
or
dark brown is kind of
dark brown.
Um,
Was it Dusk who just went ink
It was
over the
Dusk.
head?
yeah,
Yeah,
shit,
it was
Dusk like inked it, like because like he was like I could just, and she was already like covered with stuff, so she can do herself that way.
All right.
I mean, if there's no, she's not
'Cause
really sure. She wants to
technically-
be inky black anymore.
I know, but prestidigitation is technically like in that way, it's kind of like a permanent kind of change, I think, because it just says you could change the color of things, but I figure like fur sheds and grows back, so he'd
Sure.
probably get kind of weird looking after a bit. So
Little mangy, but that's okay. So bath time passes without incident unless you all cause one. Do you cause an incident?
No, but I would like to investigate that shimmery looking painting.
Alrighty. That shimmery looking painting.
I'm sitting in the chair.
How are you are now in a chair? How are you investigating this shimmery looking painting?
Before anyone approaches it, Valandra would ask Dawn to detect magic on it.
That was going to be what I was going to say anyway.
Okay.
Okay.
can
Just
You do detect magic, and you detect magic in more than one place. You detect magic on the black armor, and you detect magic on the tapestry.
Ooh.
so Can you
Transmutation
tell-
on both, I believe.
transmutation?
Unless that's the one that I always confuse with the Magic the Gathering.
So I think he would casually kind of make it look like he was like messing with his little bit of wire, like curling it around his fingers idly, and just sort of like message off to everyone
Mm-hmm.
that that's magic and that's magic. They may be listening in.
When Telaise goes in to take her bath, you said that it's locked. The door is locked on our side of the door, correct?
Correct.
Is it just like a latch? Can I unlock the door?
Sure.
And just I hear since we hear something, I just want to peek around and see what's on the other side.
Okay. You start to peek around on the other side. May I please have a stealth check?
Hopefully, we got the bad roll out of the way. We super did not.
Boy, howdy, did you not. Okay. You start to peek around the door, and you see a pile of kobolds. They are all just twisted up and nested on top of each other. It looks like the way snakes hibernate, except it's all white kobolds. Unfortunately, they really don't fit in this room. So as you open the door, the bottom of the door just rolls over one of their tails, and they go, "Yark!" And then all of them are just like writhing and swinging around and trying to figure out who bit what in the where.
Just gonna close the door and lock it.
And please give me, I think that's going to say deception. Give me a little deception on that one. They fall for it. You hear battle break out to the north as they are just romping around, sleepily beating on each other to try and figure out who woke up who when. So there's a bit of a ruckus going on, but otherwise everything's okay. Now what you doing?
Once the bath is over, she's like, "Don't open the door. Don't open the door." She just comes out, just brushing her hair for like the 10,000th time since she got her clothes back on. She's like, "Just don't open the door."
So with that accomplished, anyone else escapading?
Vesta probably wait until everybody else is bathed, just because she really wants to get the ink off, and it will definitely turn the water blue.
Yeah, I guess I assumed that there was some water being changed out.
Yes, there's water being changed out. As the water gets to the point of being ick, the servants do come, buckets in, buckets out.
Okay,
Though to be fair, the ink might
leave residue. Yeah.
But
Telaise and we can take care of it.
Could prestidigitation take care of that? Like un-ink that, or is that
Between everything available to you guys? Yes.
We can instantly clean up a soil.
Yeah,
thing,
you'll get it done. You do not ruin the bathtub. No bring around the bathtub for you all. But anything else that you all would like to do, having prepared now to meet your host?
So who do we think this is?
I don't know.
Oh,
Best,
before
my
we
best
do
guess,
anything though,
dragon.
Oh, that is a good guess. That is a good guess.
You said we
I
saw
wanna
two
check out-
dragons in the sky, right?
Yes, but very, very far distant. Actually, quite a ways away. Maybe a half an hour to an hour's travel.
Okay.
You can see a small town, or at least the smoke rising from what you would imagine to be a small town. And the two dragons were wheeling over that.
And we saw
But-
them at the same time we saw her coming up in the sled, right?
aren't dragons generally solitary?
Dragons generally are, and white and black are not known to mix.
I want to check on Harry. Actually, I want to see what color his scales are looking like right now.
Harry is still motley colored.
Okay, so he hasn't done any more shifting since the last time his colors changed.
Has not present.
Did he also take a bath? Because I'm pretty sure he should.
That's probably made him take a bath. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, come on! Look at how shiny your scales are now.
He looks just miserable.
Mira, I thought lizards liked warm things.
This is his favorite dirt. So he'd had that dirt since he was a boy. So Harry comes out looking all kind of spiffy, like his scales are pointing in the wrong direction. That's me slicking them back down for a while. And so, anything else y'all would like to do?
Suppose we should just go get this meeting over with.
All right, I'm going to move you guys a little closer together so I can copy paste here. Boop. And we're going to go out into the hallway, up the stairs, and to a new place.
While we're doing this, I have a quick question.
Sure.
Telaise picked up one of those not so fantastic short bows. How many arrows can fit into a quiver? Because she probably would have grabbed at least one.
I believe it's
30?
24 in a quiver. Might be 30. Okay. Whatever the thingy says is the
I think
correct
it's
answer.
20 usually.
That sounds all good. Any of those numbers sound good to me.
She has some vague amount of arrows.
Some vague number of arrows. I mean, do you want it to be functional? Do you want to actually be able to draw the arrows out?
Yes.
I feel like it depends a lot on the quiver.
The D&D quiver says some number. Whatever the number is that it says, let's go with. You could probably tie them all like in a little bundle if you want to carry more, but certain number can actually be drawn. But you are led up the stairs by the servant, around the outside of a balcony. You can see additional stairs to the north, a bunch of closed doors, and they lead you to the southwest door. It is opened, and inside you can see a long table. You can see several people. The regalia of the dragon cult is fairly obvious upon them. And as you enter, they move to take position at the far end of the table. The woman in scale and white taking the head of it. Do please come in and have a seat. You look much better.
Okay.
Now, as a quick question, I don't feel like any of you have disarmed in any way.
Nope.
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 Not
Okay.
until at all.
Not on your life.
Just wanted to double check. So as you will...
Stay over here. I'm not gonna sandwich
Sure.
myself next to those people.
Yep, no problem.
And Edgar, if they would have let, well, I guess like Edgar would be on Dawn's shoulder if.
Sure. And as you all come in, now, since you are here, it's fairly obvious Resmir has failed fantastically. That's to be expected. But you don't seem the screaming the names of obscure gods and running at me type. So, what are you doing here?
That's actually a very good question because I came in late and I don't know what we're actually doing.
We're still trying to. We had the mission from the Harpers to follow the stolen goods to the end. We know that this was the next step. We don't know where the end is.
We're not
Oh,
telling them that, right?
No, but
Okay.
No, I understand.
I mean, like
And
we.
Janice is just nodding along, like, no. So, what are you doing here?
Following the money.
I
That's a
mean,
wise
he's
thing
not
to do.
wrong.
It is a wise way to handle the world. Now, are you strictly motivated by money? We have quite a bit available to us.
Money buys a lot of things.
True.
Nobody answer any question, apparently.
Well, can your services be bought for money?
They have been before.
Excellent. Now, if I can surmise correctly, Resmir and that other half-breed of hers ran at you hissing, screaming, biting, gnashing, striking with their claws and fangs, yes?
Essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
More or less.
She has no eye for talent. I, on the other hand, do appreciate talent, and you seem very talented folks. Are you familiar with the Dragon Queen?
Tiamat.
Yes.
I mean, we haven't met or anything.
That's unlikely. She's trapped in the 9 hells at the moment, an injustice we seek to undo. You see, her brother, Bahamut, betrayed her ages long past, tricked her into giving up a portion of her power, and then, under the guise of justice, he has oppressed this world for millennia, leading the dragons to destruction amongst themselves and bringing about the situation that we find ourselves in, where evil masquerades as good and is supported by fools. Now, you mentioned that you've been motivated by money and have been paid for your services here. How much have you been paid?
That was a long time ago.
It was a really long time ago.
The correct answer.
Apparently someone's not checking their contract frequently.
The correct answer would be not enough.
Well, let's assume for the moment that if I paid you an equal sum, you would give up whatever this endeavor is you're undertaking. And then if I were to pay you a bit more, I might be able to hire you on. Would that sound agreeable?
Hire us to do what?
Well, that depends a lot on what you're willing to do and what you wish as a reward.
Well, what do you need us to do? And we'll tell you if we're willing.
Well, I imagine you're here under someone's orders, you've been paid. That narrows it down to 4 or 5 factions. Enemies of Tiamat. It could be that you've been hired by the order of Bahamut, though that's unlikely. They don't tend to sully their hands with monetary transactions. There's the Zentarum. They're always willing to pay for services and murder. There's the Harpers, the Lord's Alliance, and a few others here and there, or perhaps they're only bounty hunters.
At the last statement she makes, Telaise lets like a half smile tick through and then schools her face back down to normal.
But whichever it is, they can't possibly have offered you as much as we have. Or you simply wouldn't be here. You'd be off spending it, at least if you had any sense. So, how much more to simply get you to go and spend your money? And then after that, how much more for your services? What would be a number?
Yeah,
She still hasn't answered the question,
Yeah.
has she?
Mm-mm.
What's that? What would you like her to do?
We asked what she wanted us to do before we'd say what the price would be.
Certainly. Well, the first is simply to stop what you're doing now. You've obviously caused Resmir quite a bit of trouble. You've interrupted, which, if you were to do that 30 or 40 more times, would become troublesome.
We missed a big gap of what you just
Yeah,
said. If you can
Oh,
repeat
sorry.
the last 2 sentences.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
heard
Discord.
somebody eating chips, maybe, but that was about it.
Try that one again. The first thing I'd like to do is to stop your current endeavors. You've obviously given Resmir a bit of trouble, and you've interrupted one of our portals. If you were to do that, 30 or 40 more times, it would become somewhat troublesome.
Well, that's unlikely.
Well, I'm hoping so. Now, so the first question is how much to simply get you retired to a life of luxury? And then, if a life of luxury isn't enough for you, how much to get you to work for us now? Obviously, we seek the return of the Dragon Queen to undo that injustice. Do any of you have a particular love or loyalty towards Bahamut?
No.
Excellent.
When she says, if you do that 30 or 40 more times, I'd like to try to get a feel to see if this is the only spot that giant chunks of money have been getting teleported to.
Sure. Go ahead and give me an insight. Maybe.
It's like, I'm gonna say that Dawn kind of believes that, because if they're trying to gather enough stuff for a horde for a dragon goddess, this has to be some sort of massive undertaking, because group bringing stuff through.
Yeah, you get the impression that this is only one small piece of a much bigger picture. And just by looking at the ground where you landed, there were 3 or so portal stones, each of which probably led to a different place at this one location alone. And you don't get the impression that enough treasure would go through here to be what they're all talking about. So, let's start with how much to retire. What would be a number? It's a tempting one. Don't sell yourself short. We have plenty of money.
I mean, it'd be nice to just have to do nothing and relax for the rest of our lives, but as she's talking, like she's still holding Harry, like, just kind of hugging him up, like, to her chest. But
is there anywhere you'd like to retire to? We actually travel rather extensively.
see, I got questions about our retiring. See, at least from, what we've been told, which you seem to imply may have been lies. If Tiamat were to return, it would be an end for freedom for more all the races on the planet.
So
all the land.
I'd say a piece, at least 100,000 platinum. And she kind of just gives Dusk a look of, shut the fuck up.
And Dusk is just looking at her like, like, I don't want to beat around the bush here. Like,
well, 100,000 platinum is a significant sum, but not insurmountable. I don't know if you've demonstrated that much of a worth yet. But to speak to your friend's question there, what freedom do you have now that would be lost by the goddess retaking her place?
well, all we've heard is that as soon as she'd be, brought back and freed, that everyone would be bound to do her bidding and not free to do what they themselves would desire for their own freedom, joy, and happiness, and all that stuff.
Ah. So, in much the same way as the current gods judge your actions and try to enforce their will upon you, you would disagree with her. If you would simply like to take down Bahamut, we could pay you for that service.
Valandra is so confused as to why they're still talking to these people.
And Telaise just kind of casually puts her hand on her shoulder, just
I
lets
mean,
her,
that's
like, it's fine.
It's kind
go
of
with it.
fair. I'm a little confused too.
To be fair, I just want to hear more of the story of Tiamat, because it feels like everywhere we look, we can't really find a lot of information about her. And you say that a great injustice has been done to her, and I want to hear all about this.
Well, think of it this way. If you had a sister, and you were willing to condemn that sister to the 9 hells, what sort of person would you be?
Do I know the story of Tiamat and Bahamut?
You can give me a religion to come up with some variations of it. So you're fairly familiar with the story. They are the king and queen of dragons, said to be brother and sister. They tend to align themselves with the chromatic and the brain just jumped out. Colored one.
Metallic.
Thank you. Lost it. Chromatic and metallic, and Tiamat has been basically the loser of almost every contest they've ever had, to the point where she's almost said to have lost her godhood and have been reduced to a more minor level, a demon or devil, and condemned to the 9 hells. So, I mean, you could see that angle if you were willing to ignore popular opinion.
Do I know about any particular, like, atrocities Tiamat's commit? You know, like, it's said that she's evil, but do I have anything to back that up?
Did she do something, or is this just the stories that are being passed around?
Exactly, because we don't know anything either way.
I don't think you would know anything either way. Have you meddled in the affairs of dragons? So, I mean, aside from the things you've seen the cult do, which aren't particularly nice, and you know that she's said to do bad things, you know she's in the 9 hells, you've heard of monstrous abominations, and you kind of know about the chromatic dragons.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm all up for uplifting the downtrodden. I just don't think dragons are downtrodden. I'm gonna throw that out there.
I mean, also, we'd basically just be dealing with her sister and, like, avenging her anger. That's all that this would be.
Yeah.
Not in character, not out loud.
Well, if you remain unconvinced, is there anything I could do to assist you?
I mean, it would kind of help me justify throwing out an actual number. I think 100,000 platinum's a little ridiculous. I mean, it's not that oversold, Telaise. Honestly, if you had dropped a 0, I think we would have been okay there.
So he just shrugs. I like
might
money.
have had to split it. But who are you, and why are you able to? How are you able to authorize this or offer us this even?
Well, my name is Tanis, and I oversee the funds that are passing through this location. A sizable amount of funds have passed through so far, and more will pass as necessary. In order to prevent the disruption of those funds, I can apportion some of them to satisfy you.
So we gotta go chase down our own money?
Oh no, it'll come here and I'll simply take the platinum and then pass it along.
Yeah, but how long does it take to get here? I mean, where does it even come from?
Oh, they come through those portal stones that you traveled through earlier. And, well, let's see. About now, they're finishing loading it onto the Sky Island, which will be moving on to the next location for a pickup.
Sky Island?
Yes, the Sky Island. After a time, it becomes troublesome to transport the gold and platinum by horse, and something larger is necessary. So we gather into smaller hordes at several pickup locations. And then the Sky Island comes, and we load it aboard that for transport to the final place. Now, I would prefer my portion of the chain remain unbroken, but I'm not as defensive as others. If you can be persuaded to simply go away and bother someone else, I'll happily do that.
But I mean, the way you're getting a lot of these riches means a lot of people are dying and suffering, and that don't matter to you at all?
Has that bothered any other king ever?
Death to all kings.
I tend to agree. That's why I wish to raise one queen, and only one queen.
I'd rather have none, honestly.
I mean,
Someone must always sit at the top.
if
I
somebody
find
must sit at the top, why put someone there who would endorse that kind of cruel behavior?
many kings have wars, one queen, and no war.
Are you not fighting her war right now? Isn't
To eliminate the
this?
false kings. Though,
But that counts as one at least. Like a bunch of little ones.
that is why we gathered the gold we do.
So this gold is going towards funding the war or going towards
Towards the Dragon Queen's return from the Nine Hells. I'm not familiar with the ritual and the requirements myself, but I understand that the hoard that we present her with must be sizable. Enough so that a Sky Island is needed to transport it, and it has made several trips so far, which is why I'm not overly concerned with a few platinum pieces going to satisfy such worthy adventurers into forgetting whatever quest they've been underpaid to undertake.
The way you say Sky Island, it kind of sounds like it flies itself around. Do you use those once dogs, now little dragons to fly it around like a big sled or what? How do you get that thing around?
It moves under its own power.
Do you like call it and it comes to do a scheduled pickup or something? I didn't see it up there.
Oh, didn't you? And she goes over to the doors and she opens and she sort of, she goes over to the window and she opens it and she sort of points. Just there past the village, do you see that glint? And what looks like...
Oh, I can't. It's totally digitized out.
Oh, sorry. So, good now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So she goes over to the window, she opens them. Discord, you're going to kill me. She goes over the window, she opens them, she points, and down past the village, she sort of points out, just there. Now, don't let the light fool you. That bit that sort of stands up like a bit of an ice mass on its own. You see how that forms sort of a barrier wall and looks a little out of place? Yes, that's the island. It'll be taking off shortly. And it is, even at a distance, a pretty sizable chunk that will head up into the sky. 4 or 5 times the size of a large castle, you would guess.
And all hypothetically, all of our money that you would pay us to skedaddle is on that big flying iceberg?
If you needed it immediately. If you were willing to just skedaddle for the promise of money, I would simply let you go and have your way with the island. It's none of my concern. I am not responsible for the island, only this establishment here. I'm fairly certain you would die, but again, that's your life to risk.
I mean, if we leave you be and let you do your thing, and Tiamat comes back, how do we feel that she's not gonna turn on everybody.
Well, have you done anything to offend her?
Well, I mean, I guess not. I didn't even know about her until a few months ago.
Well, then, you have very little concern.
Can I insight
Generally-
check that?
Sure. She seems to be of the opinion that, yeah, I mean, if you're willing to let Tiamat be Tiamat, then you'll be okay. The followers are rewarded. Those who don't care don't get affected. Those who are against her get torn to pieces and eaten.
I believe that she believes what she's saying. That's not the problem. The problem is the rampant murder and looting of lots of villages and then loading it onto a giant iceberg in the sky. How do we get on the iceberg?
There's so many people.
I'm just
dying,
waiting
and
on-
innocents too.
Just waiting on a little bit more information before I smash her head in with my hammer.
Casey, did she introduce herself?
Tanis.
Tanis. Tanis. As you can see, we're somewhat divided on our opinions. Would you give us a few minutes to discuss it?
Oh, certainly. Though, since the last shipment did come a little while ago, I would say you probably have, perhaps an hour to an hour and a half before the island takes off. Now, if you wish to skedaddle away to the island and loot and pillage as you will, you would need to get going fairly soon.
I appreciate that information. We'll keep that in mind in our discussion.
And she gives a little clap, and the servant reappears. He can take you down to the waiting room. And if there's anything else you need, do let me know.
Thank you, Tanis.
And with that, you're escorted. Anybody else?
No.
Back down to the waiting room. Dunk. Yes,
And once-
Valandra, I see you
once-
over there like spirit guardian. Yep.
Once we're all in the room and I kind of check around to make sure that we're alone, the first thing out of Telaise's mouth is, I think we should ride this lead out. I know that's not a popular suggestion because
What do you mean?
In what way?
I think that we should play along until it doesn't suit us to play along anymore. Follow this. You wanted to find out to the end? We say that we'll help them, we'll find the end.
They just want to pay us to go away. They don't care about us at all. They don't care about our help.
I mean,
She said that she would pay us to stick around and help.
Yeah,
I
she
mean,
also
it
said
is-
that
Yes,
Yeah.
but it would be far more difficult for us to leave and return to where we're supposed to go.
Yeah.
If we decide to just leave now, we're stuck at a dead end.
I
if you have to
think
go along with
mentioning a
them, then-
flying island would be,
yeah,
Yeah,
the lead's on the ground for an hour and a half.
Yeah, you know what? I'd say just go. Well, she should just go get on that flying island, and it's kind of weird.
Which she said
That-
we probably wouldn't survive getting to. We'd have an
Wouldn't-
hour and
wouldn't
a half to
survive
get there.
raiding.
I'm sorry, we wouldn't survive raiding it. So what? We're just gonna stow away when we could just be there when, like, because we're supposed to be.
Yes, but we get on a flying island. It takes us wherever. Then what? How do we get home? Here, we may be able to get into a portal back to somewhere we know.
Well, we didn't think about that before going through the portal in the first place.
I mean,
that, and if we go along with them, if we get asked to do something like, murder and rob a bunch of people, I'm not really gonna want to do that.
Yeah,
I didn't say we had to. I didn't say we had to commit the whole way. I said get as far as we can on it.
The moment we turn, the moment we get attacked by from all angles. I don't believe that is a very good idea.
Damn it, Dawn. You're making me agree with you twice in like 24 hours. What the hell's going on?
I don't
kind of agree with
think she
Dawn
was
here.
I don't think she was talking about us paying us and then having us go on the island. It sounded to me
I'm
like
willing to take the money to go away. And you know, we have information that there is a flying island that could be beneficial to certain people.
The money that you be taking is money that they stole from other people. That's not their money. They didn't earn it. That's not like no one's blood. That is literally blood money.
Well, you know what's been said a lot in the last like.
And
5
there
minutes?
ends the agreeing with Dawn.
the
You know-
world
you
is
know-
back in its place.
We've done a very good job at saying the word money for the last 5 minutes, and the first thing I said in that room is still very, very true. Follow the money. The money is now on a flying island. We now need to follow the flying island.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that the flying island is better for transportation, which means it probably moves fast, which means we can't physically track it. We have to be on it to track it.
But that raises
I agree.
2 issues.
You're running into the exact same problem you're saying that the going with the other plan would cause.
Huh?
Regardless of whether we take money to leave or not, the information about flying islands is not entirely to the end. But for our capabilities, say we get to the end, we're never going to get back. Like, how are we going to be able to tell anybody what we learned?
I have sending.
We literally, well, I think she did, and she points at Telaise. I think, like, she likes the hopper. The hoppers are everywhere. I'm sure there's somebody somewhere that Telaise can wink at, and they'll be like, yeah, what do you got? And they'll tell them, and he'll tell their friend, and so on and so forth. Or Valandra can be all magical. I mean, there's ways to get information across long distances, but that brings me back to that whole 2 problems now. If we chase the castle, and we leave this Tanis alive, I mean, Valandra, you're not the only one we're sending.
Do you really think we can fight her?
I mean,
Yes.
there's a lot of us. I mean, I feel pretty good.
I mean,
She didn't bat an eye at our appearance, and she gave us more information than we could have possibly gotten out of her by interrogating her. She's confident that
she
we
is not
can't
scared.
take her.
She's also trying to pay us to go away.
She's
Because
a
it's convenient.
dragon. She's a
It's-
dragon.
It's convenient and easy. Rather than, and I mean, did you see how crazy they were about a little bit of mud tracked in?
Guys, I feel like there's something outside the castle. I don't know. It's my 6th sense. It feels colder in here or something.
Outside, something is indeed thumping through the snow. And it's a big thump. And you can smell, even through the closed shutters, that metallic pang in the air of blood.
Oh.
And you can hear it thumping up and into and through the house and away into the back.
Okay. Okay. That's awesome.
I don't know what that was, but that didn't sound like she was alone.
No. See, I have this feeling that really we can agree with her and stay or agree with her and go away. As much as I would love to fight a dragon, I don't think this is a good idea.
I don't want to fight a dragon. I didn't want to fight a dragon when we decided to chase the dragon in Greenest. I think that we should just stay on her neutral side, whatever our decision.
My only concern with leaving her alive, fine if you don't want to fight her, but my concern with leaving her alive is that she will. All right, something else is happening. What's going on? That she will. She'll let them know, like, hey, I tried to bribe them. They're headed your way, and then more bad things will be prepared for us. Not that there aren't any bad things over there already, because there are.
I think they might already know about it. They already know we're coming.
I assume that if she was going to tell somebody about us, it probably happened while we were all scrubbing up.
And it's unlikely that we are the first if there are as many places as she mentioned. It's possible other people have gotten to where we've gotten. She was not surprised. Meaning that everybody in that castle was expendable.
I'm just saying, up until now, we followed 2 rules. Follow the money and choke your way up the chain. And we're skipping the second step. That's all. I mean, yeah, she's had multiple chances to let them know. It's a good point, but also she's a bad, bad egg dragon lady. Whatever the fuck she is. But we are on a time constraint, so I'll go with majority. I'm not taking the money and stopping, so if that's where you guys go, it's, been a fun ride. I'm gonna go fly on a castle.
I think we should either fight her and then get on the castle, or get on the castle, but we should...
Yes.
I think we should bypass fighting because you don't know what her abilities are, how much backup she has hidden somewhere in this lodge, and even if we beat her, it might take away our ability to get to said flying castle. Time constraints and all.
All right. I mean, we're doing the same thing that she's doing to us, which is, I don't know, and it's not worth risking it. I feel like that's pretty good, 2 ships passing.
Okay, so
I agree with Joey.
So it's a thank you, no thank you. We're gonna go murder all the next step in your evil plan over there.
We can just keep that on the DL. That'd be great.
Yeah. I'm sure she looks real dumb, so she won't put 2 and 2 together.
I mean, she said we could do that and she wouldn't care, so...
Like, is she going to tell her peers that, oh, by the way,
She doesn't believe we're going to survive. We could go and do what we want. It's not going to matter.
Yeah, she thinks we're gonna die anyway. So, I mean, she's wrong. She is obviously wrong. We are not going to die. But let's use that to our advantage.
Okay, so we're all gonna go do the polite thing and be like, thanks, but no thanks. We're not just gonna leave. Because let's be polite, if nothing else. We're not savages.
Telaise will open the door and speak to the servant and says, we've come to our decision. Please let your mistress know.
Oh, excellent. I'll see if she wishes you brought up or if she wishes to come down. Just a moment. And he scampers off. And after a little bit, actually, she comes down.
I nudged Telaise on the shoulder.
After some debate about it, we've come to a consensus that we won't be enlisting with you, but we will be leaving you in peace upon a generous donation to our retirement.
Well, that does seem fairly reasonable. Now, when you say leaving in peace, do you mean to leave entirely, or are you going to go on a little jaunt to the flying island?
Well, I do believe we needed the funds rather urgently, so I think we'll be arriving at that destination.
Always get paid up front.
Look, we came all this way, and how can you not go see a flying island? That's cool.
Well, I suppose that is one way to do it. Now, she looks over at Joey, and Joey, I have an important question. Are you wearing any gloves or warm weather gear?
Almost definitely not. I don't see any reason why I would be.
Since we just came from a swamp.
Yeah. Unless she offered a change of like extra robes in after bath, no.
Okay. She looks over at you, specifically at your hands and at your weapon, and says, "It seems like you've already irked Rezmir. Likely broke one of her toys. If you have the opportunity, if you should be lucky enough, twist whatever you might stab into her for me."
I honestly think, Tanis, that it'll twist itself.
Excellent. As I really would like to see that happen, I think I will give you a parting gift. And she claps her hands, and one of the servants brings over a small pennant with the colors of the chromatic dragon races on it. This will, at a distance, help you to pass as members of the cult. Now, once you close, they're likely to see your rather unique natures. Do try and get close enough to stab her.
Will do.
If there's nothing else, it's been entertaining having you. I look forward to seeing more of you once Her Highness has taken over the world. Do keep in mind that it will happen, and when it does, be sure you choose the right side. And she turns and walks back up the stairs and away, leaving you with a rainbow cloth to be displayed. Now, you saw that the town of Parnast is probably a half an hour to 45 minutes trek through the snow. And then a little bit beyond that, the Sky Island itself. Any preparations before you head out into the snow? Any questions that you have for the servants?
Telaise is going to inquire about perhaps warm cloaks, if they have any to spare.
I'm sure we can find something for you. You do seem to have the lady's favor of a sort. And so the servants set about, and in short order, you are presented with several... they're not so much cloaks as they are warm skins. The sort of thing that a hunting lodge would have around as throws and as trophies. And on the walls, everywhere you look, there are other signs of trophies: boars' heads, stags, wolves, that sort of thing. And they outfit you fairly well to ward off the chill. Now, if we had a little more time, we could fashion something a little more wearable, but this should keep you nice and toasty until you reach Parnast. They've some proper shops there.
Thank you. And she'll actually like tip him like a silver piece.
Excellent. Tucks that away. Thank you.
I mean, I'm roughly kobold size. I'm sure it's fine.
Oh yeah, you're just like wolf.
I'm warm.
You also have fur.
You have fur.
I think Dusk is fine.
You
Dusk
think
like
so? You
Dusk
think
is
so?
like,
But the
"It's
moment she
cold?"
steps outside, she's like frozen stiff because she's still a little damp. She's all like crunchy.
No,
Crunch,
the
crunch, crunch.
the person who's frozen stiff is the one who's constantly damp.
That's also true.
Oh,
But
the
wouldn't you be
poor
able to
thing.
like manipulate that to your advantage since you are like water affinity?
But your
something?
hair
It
looks
like-
great.
It looks like Valandra has like the worst dandruff because she's actually snowing.
I can't imagine that doesn't look really fucking cool.
I'm just imagining her icing over like a frost queen or something.
Like with those bubbles that freeze over in the wintertime.
Ooh.
Oh, I bet she looks totally badass right now.
She does have the shape water cantrip. I don't know if that can work with snow or not, but I don't
Sure.
see why not.
It's water.
It's water.
It's water.
It's just hard.
Are you gonna leave her a snowman?
So, anything else before you guys head out or after you head out? Elmer's just kind of chilling out there.
I'm ready to go.
Okay. As you guys prepare to go, you can see that as the servant goes to lead you out, he steps over a big blood smear on the floor that several kobolds are working at cleaning up.
Who is that?
A bit of venison, I think.
Insight check.
Insight.
That shit.
Sniff, sniff. Does that smell like venison?
I mean, it does actually. It's got that metallic, deer-y smell.
Elmer's there?
Elmer's there.
You
Elmer
goddamn
does
right.
not look pleased. Elmer looks very white around the eyes, like death just like wandered past him. There's a big blood smear from the doorway up and around, so whatever it is walked right past him.
He's a good boy.
Winnie. Elmer could use some grog. All right. So let's do a little flash forward here to their wonderful town of Parnost. And are you guys able to see?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, cool. The wonderful town of Parnost has within it a number of things. One of the most obvious and biggest is off screen to the southwest, a big ass ice castle.
Woo.
That's probably not part of the original town structure. Parnost itself, though, is a few dozen houses in a small square with buildings that include a tavern, stable, and a shrine. In contrast to the rustic burg stands a mighty ice castle, half hidden in the fog-shrouded ravine. Walls stand 40 feet high. Huge, narrow towers loom upward, one of blue ice, one crumbling, and all of it built to scale for giants. Wisps of fog hide much of the castle's detail, but you see two statues standing just before the enormous gate. A number of villagers are moving about the town as if that's somehow normal. They're conducting sort of business. It's a bit chilly, so, they're not really farming. Just kind of standing there. Are you guys boldly walking up to town? Slinking around the outside? Running in as fast as you can, lances at the ready?
Everything I do is bold. Come
We
on.
know we know how poorly slinking works for this group. So
I am...
I mean, I think the sign says we should probably not slink today. It just hasn't
Yeah.
worked out for us at all.
No, we're not good at slinking today.
All right.
Well, we could just
Walk in.
Like we
walk in
belong.
confidently like we belong.
All right, brassing it out. Are you attempting to stop in the village or straight on to the castle?
We need anything in the village, do we?
I think it's gonna look worse if we stop for anything in the village.
Are we well outfitted for cold?
You are reasonably well outfitted for cold. You are.
So
you
like
will not,
we
you will
don't
not
look
suffer.
strange.
Yeah, you're okay because you got the big furs going on. Yeah, I mean you're wearing armor with fur over it, which is pretty standard barbarian tactic. I mean, Telaise looks a little odd because her armor's really obviously set to match her eyes, and that fur is just the wrong shade of sable. But I mean, aside from that, everybody else is doing fine. They're just like, that looks like you just threw it on. You ruined the whole outfit. Anybody else though? Or just straight onto that castle? And if you are going straight onto that castle, I think we need to elect 2 party members to act as the front people for the band and give me some sort of role to see whether you really are that convincing as you march along. And I'm willing to hear performances, deceptions, maybe even intimidations if you feel like staring people down. But 2 people rolling those.
If you guys want to go the intimidation route, I'm your gal. But anything else, screw that.
I mean,
Yeah, I could perform our way pretty much through anything at this point.
um,
Knock on
So,
wood.
good with
so
deception or
here's the
intimidate.
bar.
Do we want to like dual intimidate?
Okay.
Yeah,
With
I
Chloe?
was thinking maybe perform intimidate.
Okay. I'm willing to hear it. Now, most
Chloe
of them
and
seem
Telaise.
very disinterested. They do not want to meet your eyes. They don't want to have anything to do with you. But one looks like they might be, just kind of watching. So, who are my elected officials, and may I see the rolls, please?
Because Dawn's way up there with charisma and is good with deception or intimidation. I mean, he did make a dragon run away.
I mean,
So
I am
Maybe
plus
he
10.
kind of has
Pretty
that.
high.
That's a bit he kind of has that under his belt.
I am
It's
plus
nice to
10
know about
better,
that.
so I don't know where you're at. But
I
I'm
have
about
a
10 better.
7.
I have a plus
7
10
better.
performance and a 7 to deception.
I am
I've-
not good at any of those things.
I've got a 7 to the thing.
I am just going to be trying to hide, which is easy, I assume, because of all the snow, and I'm short.
Valandra has a +1 to all of those.
Ooh. All right, so I heard some people being elected, but I need to see the rolls.
So who exactly was elected?
It sounds like Telaise and Chloe, I think.
And what are we rolling? Do we have to roll the same thing, or are we rolling
You can
independently?
roll independently.
Yeah. You do performance.
Considering
Chloe
the
does.
fight we just got into, this should be interesting watching Chloe and Telaise work together.
So Telaise is like, yeah, she's really scary. She's such a bee. Ooh. Joke's pretty close. I mean, also probably good.
I like
with-
I like the new name. It's good. You should keep it.
Yep. That's the turkey leg has become the giant blue blade of We Aren't Cultists. Very nice. But successfully, you do make your way through the town of Parnast. You reach the gates of the castle. The villagers gave you a little bit of an eye, but whatever's going on here, they don't want to be part of it. Now, there's only really one good way into the castle, and it's across a drawbridge between 2 large statues.
Hey, Dawn, cast Detect Magic on those statues.
Yep.
All right.
Does so.
Someone should cast guidance.
The whole island unsurprisingly, glows heavily of magic,
Is it?
including the statues.
I was gonna say, is it possible to tell?
Really,
like,
everything
if
you
they
see,
have if they're separate, like
they
are
are
they gonna start like
they are
separately magic as opposed to?
probably separate. You're having a hard time just with the overwhelming amount of magic that you are seeing in front of you.
Yeah,
But
he
yeah.
probably just like kind of has to reach over and like grab somebody because
You're like,
he's now seeing like the
Now
sun.
he's actually blind.
Ah.
if only you'd kept your sunglasses.
in another campaign, safety squints was a big thing whenever we would detect magic.
Safety squint.
So I think that's where we will pull this evening to a close. Congratulations. You have successfully navigated the Lodge House. You have made your way through the town of Parnass. You have reached the Sky Island while it is still aground. And at the moment, you have not met with challenge. But you're about to set foot, perhaps, on a drawbridge. And the thing about drawbridges is once you're across them, they have this unpleasant habit of being drawn up.
And giving you 1800 XP.
And giving you 1800 XP. That's a weird thing for a drawbridge to do.
But this one's generous. Who knows?
This one could be
It's a
generous.
mimic bridge.
Let's see how much you did perhaps earn. Maybe not quite that much. But
You know,
we'll find out.
I feel like this D&D thing of getting experience only when we kill stuff is kind of rigged. It's like, we're made out to be these murderers or something. Do we get nothing for not killing people?
You guys get awarded. You get the not quite the same amount, but similar, because there were people that you did not encounter at all, but the ones you did encounter are worth a couple of experience. For instance, this one I'm looking at is worth 1800 experience, but there's a few more than one of you. So let's see what some of the others might be.
I'm not sure if it's really like. I haven't actually looked that far into the rules, but I know like traps are supposed to give you experience. Sometimes like finishing out like an entire section, like finding all the secrets and whatnot.
Like,
like clearing the area gets you XP.
or clearing the land and transcending into the sky or something.
Also good.
I try to add stuff like that in.
Or then you just get stuck when your people start chasing each other outside and you just want to end the campaign and then one of them ends up shot in a tree. Sorry,
What
Athy.
just happened?
Sounded oddly specific.
Shot in a tree?
You know that? Do not apologize for that. That didn't end the way we thought, but it ended. It was an ending.
But shot in a tree, eh? Interesting.
It's sure a thing that happened.
That's why I don't play bards.
Nobody knows.
Okay. So the good news is you have successfully followed the money. You did resist significant temptation, and you are each receiving a sum total of 4,100 experience. Each.
Wait.
Okay.
Wow.
Wait, what?
No takesy backsies.
4,100 experience each.
Ding.
Yeah, da-ding, da-ding.
Yeah. Everyone who hasn't dinged dings.
I didn't.
Oh no.
What?
$4,100, no takebacks. Correct.
Yay!
None of you dinged twice. That's hang on.
No.
I could pull a
Okay.
card.
No.
No. I was like, wait a second. I heard da-ding, da-ding. Maybe I did say something wrong, but no. 4,100 is correct.
I'm like halfway to the next level.
Ooh.
I have
These are
donged level 6.
How much
I
is
am level
7?
6.
Yeah, everyone's level 6. Level 7 is 23,000, I think.
Holy shit! I only need like 4,000.
What's
Yep.
what's
Getting
level?
close.
Yeah, okay.
Level 6 is 14,000.
Yeah, okay. That's good. All right.
Everyone's at that point.
You got it. And there we go. So apparently some of the things that you managed to talk your way through were fairly scary. We're just gonna
Because dragon.
I mean that's one supposition. That's
She's a dragon, isn't she?
I am not answering this on the grounds that it may incriminate me.
I mean, she was offering a shitload of money to us.
Hey,
She did not answer on the 100,000 or 10,000 platinum offer. That was probably a little more.
She said to not undersell yourself.
Yeah, don't undersell yourself. And you're just like, yep, that's obviously like 1,000,000 gold for me. That's
Yep.
that is
I did the
how
math
that
before
works.
I said anything.
1,000,000 gold, and I won't tell anybody about your weird blood closet.
Hey, things happen.
Given that there wasn't a chance to rest before coming to the castle, it's probably a good idea we didn't fight our way through that.
Yeah, we did.
Probably.
Yeah,
all
we did.
rested.
We were like a whole day of.
No,
Well,
it means
yeah.
at
The hunting lodge.
At the lodge.
Fighting our way
having to
through
fight to
that
the
and
lodge
then come to the castle without a rest.
within an hour and
Yes,
a
yes,
half.
yes,
That might have
yes.
been pushy. Yeah. I mean, welcome to the castle.
Like Valandra
Yay.
still wanted to cast Spirit Guardians at her, but
I mean, who doesn't?
Me?
I mean, really? You don't want to cast Spirit Guardians?
I don't.
I do it too much in my other campaign.
Telaise
Makes lots of
absolutely wanted to
appeal.
write out that information because she's like, "This is a good source. We should do this."
Dawn wants to surround himself with a murder of ravens, and it would be awesome because it's called murder.
That does sound pretty badass. I gotta say.
There are some.
But he
things
can
that
now
will
become the
happen.
raven. Him and Edgar can fusion ha currently.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Remember that.
Yeah. So, some things will be a happening. Why does this map not make sense? You rotated the fucking directions, didn't you?
They did. Did they do the thing? I don't
Damn
see-
you, Blando!
I don't see the point of, like all those maps that we've been running into with the directions all funky. Just why?
I don't know. But I feel like the gate and the drawbridge was on the northeast corner, and now I'm pretty sure it's on the southwest corner. And that seems bad to me. Okay, like as you guys were stepping on the bridge, the Sky Castle twisted slightly and then resettled. And that's how it happened.
Oh yeah, up south. Yeah.
Up south.
Up south.
All those things.
Port and starboard.
Rowdy. So, please do take the benefits of your advancement and level. And we will pick up next week. Same bat time. Same. Wait. Hang on.
We doing any nominations?
You may certainly do nominations. I'm just looking at the calendar because I forgot what week was what. Next week should be fine, right? Yeah.
Yeah, next week's not quite Christmas.
Not quite Christmas.
I thought it was gonna be. I was gonna ask if those kobolds had curly-toed shoes.
Yeah, we already
Well-
have one kobold in tow. We don't need Dusk grabbing another one. Be like, no, you got a brother.
I mean, gotta catch them all.
Oh my gosh. Just the image of Dusk collecting a gaggle of kobolds and urds. Just
You need one of each color, and that's tricky because if you keep them away from their dragons too long, they turn back to muted colors. So you got to keep bringing them near dragons. You got to refresh them.
Which is something to keep in mind with the fact that she had a lot of white kobolds with her.
She did for some reason.
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah,
bunch
it
of them.
feels like a hint
What?
a little bit.
There, what? She just likes the aesthetic. It's paint. Like if you get up close and you scratch them, it's just
They'll enjoy that a little bit.
Little chalk.
And that's about it.
Yep. Could be that.
Happy New Year's.
So. So let's see here. You guys did pick up some stuff around the Castle Neritars, and you guys doled that out. Do keep an eye on your pockets. They may be getting fairly full.
I need to go through that and figure out what he has. I'm like, I didn't have a chance to go through all
That's
that
all right.
talk about stuff.
That
Other than
Yeah,
he wants the vial. He wants to disappear.
yes. So please make sure you're aware of the special items you have. I will say you probably at this point don't need to overly concern yourself with how much pocket change you have. That may come back into play later on, but you're probably not going to find a friendly shopkeep in this castle.
Yeah, if people took some of the stuff from the loot we got from the castle, let me know, because I have it written down on a loot list, but if you have it on your sheet, take it off.
Was there a split number of how much we got
I
amongst
didn't,
each other?
with just like the gold and stuff, I didn't bother because I figured we're getting more, I'm sure. So,
I think if you took some, that's up to you.
I just put all the gold and platinum and the stones down.
Just all
Basically.
together.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't
Party,
think we could.
party
we
funds right now.
We couldn't really take them all.
Danger Mouse, why?
No, Danger Mouse.
No.
Fragile mouse.
I get 1 hit point. All right.
I mean, one is sometimes a very important hit point.
Sweet.
Oh.
Wow. The difference.
So I had to pick some skills to add expertise to. So +10 to sleight of hand and stealth
Woohoo!
sounds like a good plan, eh?
I agree.
Ooh.
Oh, by the way, guys, I picked up Dispel Magic.
Nice.
Nice.
Nice. I don't get any spells this level,
Warlock.
but next time we'll pick up Identify. How's that?
Do I get anything besides Be the Raven? Let's see.
Be the Raven.
Oh, Lord. I picked up a lot
I
of
get
stuff.
another spell.
Yeah, I have actually you and I should discuss this, Casey, because I picked up Mantle of Majesty. If I use it, I get for a full minute free use bonus action on every turn for a full minute of command. It doesn't take away a spell slot. I can just do it.
Ooh.
Bards
So,
can get crazy.
it's
You
I-
just
I-
gotta wait till you get there.
I picked this really good college.
Which college? The glamour one?
Glamour. Yeah.
So I can only do it like once per long rest,
Dimension door.
but it lasts for a minute, and for an entire minute, which I believe we did the math. If it's 6 seconds a round, that's 10 rounds.
Yep. You got 10 rounds of commanding.
I have a bonus action now, guys. I don't really usually get those, and I can just use command. And
Good stuff.
it's-
I mean,
it sure is a
you're-
spell.
Thing you can do as a bonus action most of the time is your bardic inspiration.
Inspiration,
but-
but it's only so much, and I have to like dole it out.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be very useful. I'm not gonna hopefully keep those for boss fights.
Yeah.
You get those back after a short rest, right?
Mantle of Inspiration, I have to have a long rest.
No, I was just talking about the.
Oh yeah, because I have Font of Inspiration from 5th level, so I get those after any rest I take.
Also, just a thing. Between the healing potions that we found and the healing potions that Dawn and Valandra made, we have enough for everyone to get one more healing potion.
Yay!
One person gets a greater, and the rest are just regular.
I would say give Joey the greater.
Yeah.
Well, you're the one rushing in. Don't look so surprised.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you go first. Here you go. Have fun.
You also are the one who gets hit the most.
Because you have a
Well,
lower...
I mean, if Telaise and Chloe are gonna agree on something,
It's gonna be keeping you alive, I guess. Congratulations.
She gives you the sister eyes of death. But
As I'm
yes.
cleaning up my stuff, Dawn also has a potion of enshrinkening and a potion of mind reading that I need to remember that.
And that oil of etherealness that you snatched.
Yes. He probably was just like, ooh, a vial, and just like took it.
Nice.
Hey, nice.
Were we doing I remember talking last week about whether or not we could do something with that poison that we found, the bullywug poison.
Poor Harry's just carrying around a bunch of bottles of
I'm
poison.
not sure we actually asked Casey about that, but yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
We were gonna try and use those jars of the bullywug poison that we got. I think Dawn was gonna try and use his alchemy to make that into like a contact poison, so we could put it on weapons.
Just make everyone high.
And sea frogs.
All the frogs.
So would that have been possible in the time that we spent at the last castle?
Okay. So I'm going to say to turn it into a weapon coatable poison, you need to give me some sort of alchemy at 15 or higher. So DC check 15 or higher, and
I
you can
cast
make
guidance.
that into a coatable poison. If you roll a 6 or lower, however, you do make a contact poison, and you come in contact with it. So, if you would like to go ahead and roll me that alchemical check, feel free.
Also give him help if you can.
I did cast guidance. Is there anyone else who has alchemy?
No.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know if we can help him with that if no one else has the.
Yeah, if you would need
Yeah.
need to know what you're doing.
Yep. So, take a D4 anyway.
Plus D4.
D4.
D4
Roll a
is
2.
Give it a 2.
Don't roll a 1. Yeah.
3 is better than 2. So yes, you are able
Thank
to
Eldath.
turn each of those into
Literally.
one coating.
So how many was that total?
There were 5 or 6 pots,
5.
right?
We
There
had
were
5.
5 because
pots?
you broke 1. So 5 pots have become 5 weapon coatings, which will affect the first person hit and damaged with the weapon.
So give it to Shank Mouse. Or at least one dose to the people that are up front actually attacking people could get like Chloe and Joey and Danger Mouse, because they're the ones that actually hit people with weaponry most often.
Okay.
And Valandra, or you're more magic-y? I know you have your mace, but I think how
I don't use it terribly often, but I'm usually on the front lines, so.
but we could at least give one to them and then have the 2 in reserve. If y'all are good with that, because we can't really coat that on Dusk's fist. That would be a bad idea.
Don't
She's
do
got
that.
knives.
Yes, but she punches things more than knives things.
And her
What
punches
would
are
happen if
magical
I
now, I think.
coated my claws in it?
If you
What-
coated your hands in contact poison,
No, not my hands.
I
My
would not do
claws.
that. That's a bad idea.
Oh, Casey, I have
That's-
questions for you.
Don't do
I-
that. Don't do it.
I assume Tabaxi claws retract like cat claws do, so I wouldn't,
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a bad
would
idea.
not suggest this thing that you're thinking. But I mean, I think it'd be fun.
Then we have to
It'd
talk
be-
someone else down.
It'd be like
frog ledge.
it'd be like a contagious frog poison, like you were a purple Smurf. Like you'd hit one person, they'd start thinking everybody was frog. You'd hit another person, they'd start thinking everybody was frogs.
Casey, I have a favor.
Mmm.
So there's a certain second level paladin spell that I kind of want to use, and I'm wondering if I could flavor it to fit a particular friend that I've made in this campaign.
Absolutely. What?
Well, it's called Find Steed.
Is it?
It is. And I would like to
So-
find just one kind.
So what you're saying is you're going to go, oh where could I find a steed? And Elmer's going to be like, really?
I'm right here.
You're going to do this right in front of me?
I'm gonna really holler his
Fine.
name out loud for like 10 minutes. Like just
Like
your mom calling you for dinner when you're 6 and you're out somewhere in the neighborhood, which doesn't happen to kids nowadays, but it happened to me. But yeah, something like
yeah.
that.
So instead of summoning a magical steed, you want to
Other
summon
ones that they've
Elmer.
used?
He's
Give me
magical
just
to
a
me.
moment.
He's magical
just-
to me.
Fair.
Have either of you guys has anybody ever seen a horse that sits on a boat for that long, or a horse that sits in a mud closet when a troll runs through?
You're about to see one that rides a magic ice castle too.
Elmer, he was pretty sturdy. So let's see here.
Are we sure he's not actually magic? With how
He's
he's
a-
been behaving?
He's a good horse.
He is a
The
good
magic's
horse.
been inside him all along.
So here is what I will say. Let me just skim through. Basically you are effectively transmuting him into a steed of that sort.
Yes.
Oh my god, it's an 80s cartoon.
so you can dismiss him now and summon him back if you want.
Does it actually give you that ability?
You can
Oh, yeah,
dismiss
yeah.
the steed at any time
Yes.
as an action.
You got it.
Where
You can make-
does he go? Where does he
You're-
go?
Your magic trick has just gotten all the better. You are gonna win.
I'm
on the next-
thinking my brain kind of went to like the whole Shira and
Thank you,
Swift
mine
Wind
too.
thing.
That's
Like
exactly what I thought was happening. I'm like, yes!
I can
Suddenly
finally
he's
talk
a-
to him.
suddenly he's rainbows. It's just
So have people written down the potions of healing? I can
Yeah.
delete those? Okay. And people wrote down the frog poison, the 3 people that we gave it to.
Yep.
And I got the other 2 on the loot list.
cool.
And Athy, you wrote down the oil of etherealness?
Yeah, I wrote
Okay.
that on my thing.
Okay. Are we doing nomination?
Hit him up.
Okay,
I would
well,
like to nominate Kuhloe and Telaise
I was
for
gonna
working
nominate-
together after
yeah.
that fight.
I was gonna nominate Telaise and Valandra for their. Yes, nominate, because you've never said anything wrong.
So hang on. I gotta throw the
What?
Kyle.
What?
So I gotta throw
What
this.
is being said? I cannot hear you.
Help!
You roboted. You're back.
No.
You gotta
I'm
throw
back, I'm
Kyle
back.
somewhere.
I gotta give Kyle credit for calling me out on the slow speaking and the glumflower raising because I'm pretty sure that was him. And I died after he finished saying it.
Yes, that's perfect. He deserves so much for that.
Yes.
Thank you. I think I'm supposed to say something in recognition that that's being acknowledged, and I got nothing, and it's super awkward, and I don't know where this is going. I don't know. Yeah.
For all of that.
I'm not gonna type that whole thing. You guys are crazy. Oh.
I have to let you know that was my first D&D fight, like actual argument ever.
Ooh.
I stopped working at my new job at my desk to text and in Discord about that more than once. It's like, nope, this is important.
Yeah.
I also
Oh my gosh. I also think that we didn't actually transcribe the last two sets
The
of
most heated
comments
parts, yeah.
part of the entire argument, because I think we were waiting for you to get here, because I think you wanted us to do that.
I walked in at the last point. He's like, hurry, Casey's like transcribing your conversation. I'm like, what?
You guys can get into that again later if you like. Let's see, what else went on? Things happened.
I hate nominating myself, but I really want to nominate myself for opening that door and starting a huge snowball fight.
Yes.
And then just backing out. Like, I just Grandpa Simpson that whole thing.
That's a good reference.
Thank you. That's all I do is reference stuff. I actually found that out when a friend of mine came to visit me. She's like, I don't understand any references, so try to avoid those. And I realized that all I did the whole weekend she was here was talking references, and she had no idea what I was saying.
How do you not
That's
get
just an
any
opportunity to-
references? Like,
It's just an opportunity to introduce them to things.
That's a lot of.
I'd like to nominate Dusk for kind of taking the lead in that conversation and just saying outright half the stuff that the rest of us are like, what are you doing?
Like, stop! Oh my god, we're trying to, like, lie to a dragon here so that he doesn't eat us.
I mean, like, what other chance for this kind of information were we gonna get?
Oh my goodness.
Master negotiator.
Like, everyone's looking at us like, what are you doing? Stop being so honest.
Ooh,
I feel like
Very,
honest to a fault
very
is
in
my
character, though.
problem.
Very in character.
Dawn for talking about toe beans for a second.
I did.
Oh my god. Dawn did talk about toe beans. Oh my god.
She wiggled them. He wiggled them. Like, nope, I'm good. I can't take these off.
That was good. I liked that.
Oh, stretching it out.
So that's 150 now, right?
If that's how mouth works, then yes.
you hear me? Discord is saying it can't find my mic.
I just
I
heard
hear
yeah.
you just fine.
Okay.
Yep.
Discord's drunk still.
Discord
Always.
just had a day today. That's all right. That reminds me, at some point, I want to see if the video and audio that I have through Join Me, which is another type of audio service, is better or worse than Discord. So
You know what's better? A new
Face-to-face?
laptop. Buy a new laptop.
new
Casey.
laptop would be nice. That's okay. So January 8th, I get done my review with work, and I find out how much or how little money I'm making over the next few years. So we'll see how that goes.
So it's gonna be years before you buy a laptop?
It depends on the answer. If I get what I want, it'll be very soon. If I don't get what I want, it'll be potentially new job, and then shortly thereafter.
Oh shit.
Oh.
Well,
It's
here's
one
to
of
getting what you want.
Yeah, it's one of those. Eventually, you have to, ask for money, and now I need to ask for money. There are names on this map for creatures that really amuse me.
Oh.
Like, normally they're like, this is a giant frog. But on this particular map, they're like, this is the wall giant frog. And this is the doorway giant frog. And I assume it's because they've got special abilities, but it's just funny to look at them and then be like, well, yes, fairly obviously that's the wall giant frog and that's the door giant frog because that one's on the wall and that one's on the door. Like, here's your sign. I'm like, I'm not into redneck comedy.
Oh, I want to nominate Chloe for just flat out the whole thing about Elmer and not having him stabled. I don't know how to describe it, but from beginning to end, it was just fantastic.
They were gonna eat him. Like they weren't even being subtle.
I don't want my horse eaten. Why would you offer this to me?
I pushed him through a magical portal. I'm not gonna go send him to his dragon snack death.
I mean,
no, Casey, stop trying to kill him. Now you can't. You can't touch him.
And the servants were just like, but why wouldn't we haven't had horses here in a very long time, so we're not. Is that good for you? Would that be all right?
Are you attached to this horse in any way?
I didn't bring him as a gift for your weird dragon dogs.
I mean,
they're not dogs anymore. Like, wait a minute, can you explain this to me?
I mean, look, we used to have a huntsman. It's now a hunting thing. We used to have Hunt's dog. They're now just hunting things. Things have happened.
But we don't have the details on what happened because it's very insinuated.
Well, we could tell you the details, but
those things didn't disappear. They became different things.
Things happened. People died. And then things happened. So we don't talk about that.
I like Valandra snowing.
Oh my god, that was great.
Valandra does snow nicely.
Beautiful.
I also like Valandra being like, I could just cast a spirit.
She was so confused why they were just talking to her.
And it's like, because it will eat us. That's why.
Like it's clearly evil. We should just fight it. Yeah, I'm amazed that this party got through that without fighting.
Telaise is also amazed. I'm not just amazed, but Telaise is amazed that we got through that without fighting. Because she's just, I don't want to do this at all.
I think a lot of it was just because no one really knew what to say, and kind of no one wanted to throw the first punch, I think.
Hey?
They're like,
I'm
what
not sure.
What do you say to a white dragon who offers you a bath?
You never say no to a bath. Come on.
I mean, yeah, really, who would?
Have you ever watched Sherlock Holmes, that movie? Like, guy died in the bathtub. Say no to a bath, then.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, there's that one, and then because of the other campaign, I'm like, also, there's a few bathtubs in Castle Ravenloft you probably want to avoid. Yeah. Just, yeah. Also, the poor witch never made it out of the bathtub. Oh.
No, didn't she? I thought she was
she
flies.
turned into bugs. She turned into bugs.
She sort of made it out of the bathtub.
She got halfway through a wall as flies and then died.
She was still dripping.
Were you fighting Oogie Boogie?
Can I?
Essentially.
I
Yeah.
told you all I do is talk in references.
Can I nominate Dusk for giving Harry a bath?
Yes, you should.
He is a shiny, sparkly kobold now.
Oh, by the way, just so you are aware, Harry has equipped himself with a small stick.
A
Bum,
small
bum,
stick.
bum.
Cute.
That's
Yes.
adorable. Holy shit.
Well, I mean, I mean, technically, it's a club, I guess. But he's noticed some fellas give Dusk odd looks, so
Aww.
he wants to defend her. So he's picked up Harry's Club for Men.
Oh my god.
God damn it!
Oh my god. Oh.
Sorry,
I
it
would
took
like,
a little.
I would like to reverse nominate the GM for negative experience.
Oh, come on!
That was a long way to go for a dad joke.
They get harder and harder the older you get to get round to them. But come on now. But yes, he's a firm defender of his caretaker.
I'd like to nominate Waverly for being in character with rolling hit dice, just the minimum.
I
Very
don't know.
accurate.
I will take that.
I don't need these hit points. Who needs hit points? Charge!
Not me.
Like the worst one of us to roll minimum,
By the way,
and yet
it came and went really quick. But I do want to give Waverly credit for I'll just take the money.
Yes! Yes!
Yes.
I love money.
It was like zoop right through because you guys were all like, okay. That was nice.
yeah, no one like really responded to that. I don't think.
It's like, well,
Because we're
obviously
just like,
that's what you're gonna
no.
do.
I think the best part about that response is that the reason why I hadn't been speaking up is because Telaise is like, is this going to start another fight with Kuhloe about money that may or may not be up for grabs? And then, nope, never mind. Someone else has already got this covered, I guess.
Yeah.
This entire session has just been delightful.
It has been interesting.
I like this one. You guys got through this one in a interesting way.
Is that like a four-armed troll that walked by a couple times?
It was a big troll.
If you only want to count it as forearmed, sure.
That's what I saw in the picture, but
Yes.
I didn't see it very closely.
He was a massive troll. He does have forearms. He was dragging a very large deer behind him, and there's actually a couple other things with him, but he was the noticeable one.
Okay, in my head, he stopped and he patted Elmer. He was like, nice horsey, and then walked inside. Because I'm evil like that.
I mean, could have.
Which would explain why Elmer is so freaked out when we get out there.
Alrighty, I think I'm gonna stop the stream. And